Thanks for confirming. Uh, Hello all, welcome to the series of webinar on agentic AI to discuss on what's the actual field strength, what's happening in the industry right on the ground, and what's actually the hype that you see across the marketing teams uh, being bloated by many companies. That's what I would keep it not as a one-man show as a webinar, but rather I would love to hear feedbacks and basically take it as a one-to-one discussion rather than me giving a uh, overall talk on the intrinsic technology on the agentic AI. So going on deep, the agenda I have planned is, since there are folks from a non-agentic AI background, you all know you would have at least used ChatGPT in the recent ages of AI, but you would have not really gone through what's agentic AI, how it works in the background. So I would just give a brief of what's agentic AI is right now and how it evolved, and then how it's used in the industry, right? And what are the some of the hypes uh, or the exaggerated, I would say, the exaggerated paradigms that you would hear in the industry. Certain parts of it are not clear yet because humanity is making the ground on with research and development. But as AI company in Kasadara, uh, and we have taken the oath of being AI first in the recent quarter, we heavily invest on AI to solve our customer problems. So going further, I'll not waste any more of on the eagle's view of talk. Let's dig deeper. So how did the agentic AI came into the paradigm in the recent years? LLMs started in the years of 2019 and stuff but it eventually gathered its inference right from starting that of BERT. The autocomplete in your Google feature was one of the first of its kind of LLM had its footprint, but eventually with the release of the OpenAI's ChatGPT, it became very popular and people started investing much on the GenAI frameworks and GenAI based technology to solve the problems. So it was the launch of LLMs, then eventually prompt engineering last year and end of last year's, and eventually you tweak your prompts and basically get the best out of the work. And right now, with combining multiple LLMs or multiple models which solve a particular problem, you chain it in a workflow, you call it as agentic AI. So right now all the clouds and most of the frameworks that support deployment of LLMs support agentic workflows. So if you take Bedrock, you can write an agentic workflow as you speak. If you take Azure, you have ML flow. So similar with other cloud paradigms. So this year is more of towards writing a workflow, tying in multiple LLMs together to solve a particular customer problem, which is not solvable through one LLM, right? So you would have faced such kind of an issue while using ChatGPT. So ChatGPT would give a very good response when you ask a certain template or an SLA based document and stuff, but it would not typically answer a regulatory or a typical healthcare based violation rule also, HIPAA compliance rule also, because the ChatGPT might not be trained for that particular domain. So not one LLM can solve a problem. Two LLMs packed together in a workflow can solve much more larger problems for any type of customers that we are targeting. That's the whole agenda of agentic AI. Future to agentic AI, people are talking about cognitive based agents, where it's still a proof of concept, or people are trying it out. Agents solve its problems by itself. There are some breakthroughs here and there, but it's not yet there. So I leave it to your assumption, to your takeaway, to dig more into what is cognition by any AI models also. But right now we sit in the world, and right now what's happening is people are putting agentic AI in production to solve any vertical problems, whether it's manufacturing or healthcare or life sciences or pharma, or comes any of it. So that's the big picture of the the evolution of LLMs to that of agentic AI. I'll pause, at least in the next couple of slides. I'll pause for some questions that can be taken. But I would please feel free to block me, to stop me in asking any questions. So what is it now in the world of agentic AI? So as I said, people used one LLM to solve problems, at least last year. But right now, you need to write a workflow and on any of the cloud providers, because cloud providers provides you GPUs, and you use that to form your nice workflow to using multi LLM models to solve your customer problems. In Casadara, we are well versed with AWS Bedrock, and we use AWS Bedrock prompt flow to write in agentic AI solutions to solve customer problems. So if in case you are facing any uh, any issue in solving an AI problem, please knock out on us. We'll be glad to help you on it. So we have found out what is agentic AI, and we have discussed on it. What is it new in it? So in order to construct the complete graph, there are multiple tools and techniques that are being used, and people are training agents to retrain itself so that it evolves over a period of time. So LangChain and LangGraph are popularly used, and there are multiple SDKs, software development kits, that has come up over the course of years to fine grain and construct the agentic AI workflow. Similarly, you can see a multi-agent frameworks giving data to itself to retrain on it, which has become popular nowadays. But but we are but most of the people are trying it out, and whether agents can retrain itself. So I've seen some breakthroughs, but specific to use cases, which has solved certain problems. But we are yet there. We are not yet there, and we need much more work on it. But what I can see is every agents right now talk to external systems because data is lying outside. Go there, pick it, train itself, and basically give much more potential and accurate results when a product owner asks in for a particular question. So that's where you can see autonomous workflow execution, where it goes and reads an emails, it talks to databases through RAG, or using any vector databases as Pinecone or so, or through an API. So that's where people are trying with multi uh, multi multi protocol, hitting data on the bag to pull the data to the model in order to respond perfectly and accurately. Going further, what's the promise, and what's the hype? Because our topic of webinar is the hype and actual reality. So when people started constructing agents, they were promising that it can automate everything, or we can build the whole world. So you can automate all the workflows of a problem, and it can It can do reasoning, it can do prediction, it can adjust itself over the course of time in order to solve multiple problems, and it can plan and reason. So that's what people were people were people were betting on whether any agent could do, but that's not the reality as such. So not every reasoning will pass through, or not every test will pass a Turing test. So in order to say that AI is really AI, it has to pass a Turing test. So chess is an example which is passed Turing test, right? So you cannot identify uh, who is sitting on the opponent, who is playing a chess, whether it's a computer or a human, because it has chess programs are Turing test passed, and it's really intelligent. So that's not the case here. You can still find out in through agentic approaches whether it's system generated, or it is human that's been talking in the front. So what is it now? What's there now, and what's the target? Agents can, everybody claims that agents can do without supervision. No, at least right now in this year, I can see people automating, people automating with the human in loop. People trying to automate, because at least in some point in time, you should have some human in loop to take your process to the completion. So uh, that's the that's the big picture. That's the one liner that you need, and everybody needs to understand. Yeah, people say that it's a general purpose problem solver engine, and it can solve all problems. No, it needs, any agent or any LLM has to be trained on that specific domain, and it has to be prompt engineered, and it has to be given to that particular set of product owners or users. So otherwise, it will target towards hallucination, and it will eventually fall into the trap of false confidence to the product owner, because we could see that everybody uses Copilot now. So people using Copilot cannot just copy the code, but there is some amount of 10 or 20%, I would say 20% efficiency needed in order to fix that Copilot code that you can put it in production. Definitely, yes, it has increased the efficiency of any developer, no doubt about it. Microsoft Copilot, and if you see in the GCCs and in the companies, at least what I'm hearing is a 10% efficiency rate that needs to be improvised whenever you get a Copilot license. So that's the target that's been set by companies, at least in this year. One popular misconception is that it will replace our jobs. No, it will definitely replace with a person who knows an AI. It will not replace people. So you need people. Right now, if you see a conglomeration of a coder plus a product owner mindset with the domain expertise is the one that people are targeting. So that's our job roles would turn or have a different flavor of it, but definitely it's not going to replace. There'll be much more problems and another set of thought processes that would come up. With that, there are multiple agentic AI that have come up in the market, like Agent GPT, Crew AI, and stuff. You can use Devin and multiple things, but the popular ones are Crew AI, LangChain, LangGraph, and stuff. I will pause here for 20 seconds, and if there is any questions, I'll be able to take it up.
Yeah, this is Suresh here. Am I audible?
Yes, Suresh, yes.
Hi, Arvind. So, yeah, so my question here is like, as you said, our jobs, right? So, like there is some advancement of vibe coding, right? So that was in place, and wherever that even the product owner or other business person keys in the requirement, that clearly does everything for writing from the requirement from the scratch, and the approval of that, it will build the entire system, deploy it in the cloud, and it is giving the demo, right? So that is also evolving. So how we are seeing that?
Got you. So this is the conception. Everybody, I saw all those when I attended meetings and I attended conferences. I saw an entire button click. You'll be able to. Simple question. So whenever I talk to the leaders had a fear that we give an entire stake of things to an engine, and we don't know how the code that it has dumped in and stuff. We just put it in the production. Who tomorrow there is a bug, who is going to replace it or who is going to fix it? So yes, I can understand that everybody is betting on it with the vibe coding and stuff. What I can see in, at least in GCCs, what I can see is global capability centers. A part of it is definitely been used, and it's used to increase efficiency. But at least for this year, I have not seen an entire system being replaced with the entire vibe coding also. But in the long run, what I envision, that's my personal opinion, you should have a conglomerative persona of a product owner, come a vibe coder, come a domain expertise. That's what it's going to win the market as a persona, as an industry person. Whether it's 5 years or 10 years, it doesn't matter. I mean, experience of it doesn't matter. But that's the way it. At least people are talking or having a look at it. Hope I answered your question, or is there anything else that you want to uh, ask?
Yeah, Arvind, I'm good with the answer that you provided, and I having another question, that is different. So, with respect to RAG, right? So, retrieval augmentation generation. So, it is a kind of one of the AI tool that is used for doing their domain level knowledge repository, and they will use it for their internal AI chatting and get that reply, right? So I could see that was a kind of a mechanism that will be used for a very lower level. That means with the fewer artifacts or something. So how that in since you are as Casadara, you are consuming this entire AI things, right? So how that entire industry is using RAG? Is it something matured, or how that was?
Okay. So just to explain RAG, retrieval augmented generation, RAG is just a concept where in front you will have a AI agent or a model. On the back, you attach a data source, any data source for that matter. It's S3 bucket or Postgres or a DB2, doesn't matter. The Vertex AI will start pulling the data, and basically it will give you as an whenever you ask a query. But so that's plain sweet. It's all just button click in a cloud. You'll get a RAG established. But if you ask an intrinsic question and you wanted as an answer that you expect, for example, regulatory reporting. So regulatory reporting for any BFSI or HIPAA compliant for any healthcare client. Hey, what is the rule number IFRS 4.1? It has to accurately answer the product owner. In order to do that, you have to do chunking in the direct RAG is not possible. I mean, it won't direct RAG, it will give you an answer, but it won't be that accurate. It will start hallucinating or saying some vague answers. So in order to get a very accurate answer also, you need to chunk the document, store it in a vector database, then attach your Vertex AI model, and you have to prompt engineer in a way that what your product owner's domain knowledge questions would be, and it has to answer in that specific sense. So those are the techniques that you would do as a AI engineer in order to achieve that full AI bot synthesis. So that's a base level problem that everybody does it today. No questions asked. Every every HR bot in any big company is this whatever I said. To just what is my leave, how many leave plans I have, The bot will answer you. It's just people would have trained you and it like accurately answer for your role. These are the leave plans and stuff. Everybody has achieved. But I hope this was your question. I think I answered your question. But I'll also say something else. People have gone to the next level. One bot can solve only a HR problem. One bot should basically tie my, for example, time my based upon my payroll and my level. It should basically pro, go to my finance, get my salary, and basically automatically calculate that or subtract my leaves or loss of pay or so. That one bot or one LLM cannot do, because you need a different set of an LLM to do a subtraction or what to your salary and finance, and basically do all the calculation. So for that, you need to have an agent which basically ties your HR bot as well as your finance bot to solve a big problem, right? So that is where people are betting in, and that's where the agentic AI comes into the play. Hope I answered your question and I answered your next level also.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, thanks for your time.
Yes.
Hello, Arvind. This is Selvaraj. I have
Yeah,
a
please.
question.
Yeah.
Actually, I see now the corporates are now trying to adopt the AI, right? Not particularly agentic AI, but they want to get into AI and then follow the technology trend and see how they can utilize the power of AI. But here, the challenge here is like they have, I mean, lots of domain experts. They worked in the system for many years. Example, GCCs have their own specific product, and then they have the subject matter experts who worked on the product for many years, and they are the experts in a particular product. And then if they have to adopt the AI, they don't have the skills, right? And then engineers who are graduated in particularly in AI ML this space, they do not have domain knowledge and experience, right? So there is a huge gap. So
Yes.
how they can drive this forward and then get into adopting the latest AI technologies? How do you
Gotcha.
see the
Gotcha. This is
problem?
the exactly. So this is the problem we are also hitting in, and this is the exact. I can clearly envision your question. There are domain experts without AI knowledge, but then now there are a lot of. If you take the startup culture, there are a lot of technologists without the domain knowledge. That's where the industry is. See, if you ask me personally, even we see if you ask me my group, see I am a BFSI expert and I know the domain of BFSI and stuff. But yeah, if you are healthcare also, I can handle. But if you ask me manufacturing or a deep intrinsic procurement and stuff, I am combining with a procurement domain expert and solving a particular problem. Because I mean, for new clients and stuff, that's what in Casadara we do. We peer pair with a domain expert, because I'm all technologist. So to answer your question, how does in the industry one can adopt and take it further? You need to either this technologist has to have the domain expertise and take it further, or the domain expert has to learn a part of the AI and need to attack a problem or peer pair. But what the industry right now I hear, that's my personal opinion, not my personal opinion, what I'm hearing in the industry, in future going further, as I said earlier, a conglomeration of a domain plus the technology or the vibe coding is the persona that will come out, or the persona that people would look in the market. For example, full stack engineers was not there at least 10 years back, right? We were either enterprise or back-end developer or front-end Java struts and JSPs and servlet people. So, but a full stack engineer was born once the Spring Boot, all this came up. So in this AI trend towards a persona of conglomeration of business plus the AI expert would be the would be the thing that it would come up. I would say that's what I am hearing. I'm hearing.
Okay, understand. Thank you. Yeah, that's all I had. One question. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, Arvind, I'm again. If
Yep.
no one
Yep.
has
Sure. Sure.
any
Any
questions.
number of questions. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
So, another question here is like recently there's a news that AI connected to the production and that wiped out the production database in some other organization. So there like scenarios happening like this, right? And also another thing is like even that chat gpt ceo said like in some few other forum like there is like no privacy control has been made with respect to chat gpts that you chat something like there is a forum like he discussed that. So these things like you implementing these AIs into the like real time business, right? So any kind of measures, any kind of preventions that you guys are taking in place, like for ensuring that privacy and ensuring that this kind of production data wiping out.
Gotcha. So to answer your question, uh, we deploy, at least industries, everybody deploy your model in cloud. And it is under a segment of a specific VPC and a subnet, which means that whichever the data that you give it to the cloud for that model, it will never get leaked out, or it's never accessible by any of your any of other counterparties except your company. That's the first thing. Number two, every cloud provider now has put a guardrail, which means that any PII information, personally identified information like name, credit card, or so, doesn't reach the even the LLM. So they have put guardrails, and it comes now as now as a vanilla entity with your cloud provider itself. So if you just enable through a button click, none of your PIA information will even reach the LLM model. So in that way, you're secure. Number two. So when you put that thing in production, now it's all good to go, and never your PIA information or your secured information reaches the cloud or the LLM model itself. So in that way, you are crystal clear. That's what every all the three cloud provider gives you a promising note or the SLA. Third point, with that they call now as ethical or responsible AI. So to answer your, that's a part of their SLA agreement that they don't, by enabling the guardrails, none of your personal information reaches the LLM or cloud. That's one point. So your cloud is bulletproof, number one. Number two, this year we have started seeing a lot of private LLMs hosted on on-prem. At least we got at least two inquiries where Dell gives you physical servers with GPUs where you can buy in. It's not that costlier, which used to be a GPU. People are doing with CPUs itself. People have started with a DeepSeek and other stuff coming in. There are many providers running LLMs on private servers itself. So you can opt that too. That's on the second. Third, we also see this year with the advent of DeepSeek, people are running LLMs on your local computers. So you can see a lot of, even Indian government has made a AI which can run on your CPUs. So you can see a lot of, even your website or whichever your hosting application that you're hosting in your laptop, it can run LLM. So you have three variants of it. All the three are bulletproof. So the ethical and responsible AI SLA is all met by all the providers who are offering LLMs. Hope I answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks all for a lot of questions. So I'm hearing uh, I didn't expect so much of people following it up. Thanks all. Hope that okay. Going further, some overhype, and there is always a hallucination. Even now, we find that LLMs are biased. You need to really train it well. But one point in time, starts hallucinating, or and there is always a misinterpretation that AI is going to replace the jobs. Never, I personally don't believe it, but definitely nobody can replace Aravind, but and another Aravind, which who knows AI, will replace me for sure. Because AI without the advent of AI tools, and you're no longer in the market. So it will give an birth to another persona of job roles, which we have to wait and see. So in the market in the coming years. Uh, Many leaders, I feel that they are not spending. I would say not spending, not misallocation. I would say not spending on R&D, because they are waiting to for this agentic AI to get matured. Let it get matured, then we will invest in it. So that's one thing. And the rest all, it's all black box agents and compliance and some auditability gaps. That's all you hear in the you hear in the you hear in the market. But with the advent of guardrails, those are all taken care. Because if you take AWS or Azure or GCP, they strictly follow the responsible AI practices to achieve it. How does my agents basically empower me to solve much more customer problems? Of course they can. Of course, all my it every GCC companies right now are given at least 10% efficiency advantage. So that's where normal customer service of question and answers um, uh, is all now LLMs and agents. So I don't see a conversational bot what we used to answer in through NLP, natural language processing techniques. I have never seen that now. Everything is now agents talking and basically creating tickets on online and stuff. So even if you go to our Airtel service, it's all now agents that creates the tickets automatically. Uh, all internal automation, if you say multiple automations, are now tried through agentic AIs. The some are completely successful, but many are not. We have to wait and see. So that's what it's happening. And any OCR technique, I think we also got multiple inquiries. OCR techniques is all now agents. We're converting paper document to digitized format, and that digitization being text summarized also is all now agents. So that's normal to a fact of agentic AI flow. This is one such architecture document. I just want to put one architecture document to show how a very simple, right? You have an agent, user who basically queries. The Strands agent is nothing but an AWS Amazon SDK toolkit. So it talks to multiple Lambda. Lambda again queries the Bedrock LLM model. So that's the simplest thing, the simplest architecture, and I just put a minimal architecture. Okay, so all this when you deploy to production, it's code commit, code deploy, and code build. So on a click of IAC infrastructure as code, the whole agent gets deployed. So that's how we operate on it in Casadara, and you have a bot running. So we have accelerators all built. So if you want any any agent to be deployed on top of with a RAG, it's just a button click for us. So you have an agent running on the fly. So that's what we are good at. The council AI council in Casadara is good at. Uh, Last week, I think just a couple of weeks back, S3 buckets, Amazon announced S3 bucket as vector stores. So now vector databases, in order to store vector databases, you need to use Pinecone or Files or multiple, there are multiple, right? So you need to use one of them, but S3 buckets are enabled now as vectors. So that's one popular announcement that has come a week back. It's still in preview stage. You can see that our folks just quickly tried it, and but soon in S3 you can use it as a vector store. So which means that it can be directly tied to an agent. So which is possible, which is possible to answer the queries which very specifically and towards the business practice. We have multiple agentic workflows. You have Bedrock and stuff, but there are companies which provide agentic workflow as a solution itself. One such is N8N. You can just Google it out and see. N8N, make.com. There are multiple companies that allow. N8N is popular. Olama is an is an LLM that can run on your local. So we tied LLM with Olama, and we were able to bring up a quick agentic AI workflow running in the local. So if you want an AI agent, somebody asked me this question. So if you want an agent without even reaching the cloud, you're good to go. We have an agent running on the fly with your data on the locals. That's you can play around with N8N. That's really good to go. There are now browser agents in the market. Fellow is one of them, which they have started in, and but it's not yet deployed, or it's still in the development. But you need to keep watching because agentic browsers are becoming popular or it's stock in the market. Whether it will be a hit or a stuff, we have to wait. But it's stock in the market. Because you can see there was some report that said that Google's search has been reduced by around 20 or 25% after ChatGPT has come up, right? So that maybe or may not be, I don't know. So, but similarly, we have to wait this kind of new ventures that are coming up, agentic browsers. Similarly, there is one more agentic browser, Comet, which is also so try it out to see that how it works and how it engages itself and stuff. What's in it for us? I mean, what are the real world use cases? Right now, what's been tried in the industry is one LLM cannot solve a problem. We need couple or 2 or 3 LLMs to solve a problem. So we use cloud agentic workflow to tie multiple LLMs and basically train it, use Lambda or intermittent hooks, web hooks, or intermittent, whatever you call it, Python logical libraries to basically tie all these LLMs to solve a bigger picture with the human in loop. Without the human in loop, at least I have not seen the complete automation, a large automation, I would say, not intermittent or small scale automation, a large automation succeeding. You definitely need human in loop in order to succeed it. So that's the big picture, and we need to wait and see because it's still maturing, still evolving in the next few years. So power, with great powers come great responsibilities. The power is with the human, with us, in order to see how we use it and how we solve it. I'll be happy to take up any questions for that.
Yeah, Arvind. So if nobody has any question, like I'm having another one question.
Sure.
Like, yeah. So you said like you are using sorry, AWS infrastructure, right? So like for converting the embeddings, right, and storing into vector we need to have some kind of logics, like if we have any kind of artifacts that we need to convert it into embeddings, we might usually write a kind of any kind of lang chain or any kind of code to make it chunk and put it into vector store. In AWS, is there is any additional features is there instead of writing code for converting chunk and converting into embeddings? Is there is any feature that will, if we upload an artifacts, it will automatically do that chunking and converting into embeddings, Arvind?
Pine code for all the knowledge bases, but you already have a default knowledge base in underlying the bedrock. But there are different types of chunking: hierarchical, semantic chunkings and stuff. But which one supports you? You need to basically upload and see whether if it supports your particular use case, right? So if both of the chunking doesn't support you, right, hierarchical or semantic, then it's not going to value your use case also. So, but to answer your question, yes, semantic and hierarchical chunking are there, but how does it value your use case? You need to try it out.
Okay, Arvind. Yeah, thank you.
Just go to the Amazon Bedrock chunking. There's something called as chunking strategy. So there you would have hierarchical, semantic, and the standard. So just try it out. I mean, just verify your specification. You will understand it within a matter of minutes. It's just a configuration. That's it.
Sure, Arvind. Yeah, I'll do that.
Hello, Arvind. This is Selvaraj.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I have another question. So it's, I mean, there are talks about a model training on its own, and then it's kind of going into loop, and then over a period it will get matured. Uh, is there a scenario that or any experiments happening in that particular area?
No,
Are you aware?
yeah, that's a good point. See, I have also see we have not tried on all this on this R&D because we're all busy with solving. But I've seen multiple videos and stuff. What I saw is, see, one end of the day, it's approximate nearest neighbor, ANN. So you have mapped the data. If you read how ChatGPT internally works, it's a transformer architecture, and it's ANN. So it transforms your data to your vector space, and it approximates your nearest neighbor. It gives. So let's give a simple example that if this gives the data to this and this gives the data to this, it will definitely start talking. I've seen that in multiple videos and our own. There are startups in Bangalore which have done that as an experiment. Just to get you just watch this video on build fast with AI. Just go to that website. They are a company who did this experiment, and it's fascinating. It's they are trying to say that humans are divide, and I will even try kill a human and stuff. That GPT is saying that. It's all fascinating to see. But at the end of the day, if you look at the algorithm, see, it operates on data. Simple, it operates on data, and it operates on approximation of the data. So, for example, let's say an ancient fight of Tamil Nadu. What is it? The ancient most fight of Tamil Nadu is Adimurai. Okay, right? I'm just picking since I'm from that fight. If it's available, the data is available to the ChatGPT, it will know. Otherwise, it will
Right.
never know. But it will definitely know dancing, kickboxing, and whatever, kung fu and stuff, because it's there in the internet and it can definitely answer. But if you ask an ancient fight of Tamil Nadu or its methodology, it can never answer because the data is not there. So unless you feed the data, it is never going to answer, or it's never going to answer in a particular or the right way. So I specifically, that's my opinion. Whatever people say also, as of now, whatever, because I'm looking at the algorithm and saying AI cannot replace a human. It's just a hype that they have given it, but because human mind, it has 10 power 600 neurons. It's really a thinking process, a thinking what do you say? It's a thinking gamut being created by God. So I don't personally believe it. Yeah. That's my personal belief.
Okay. I understand. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your views on that.
But go and check out this Build Fast with AI.
Yeah.
They also have a WhatsApp group. Just subscribe to it, and you will start getting some interesting news and stuff. That's fascinating. Uh,
Sure. I will try that. Thank you. I mean, looks like everything boils down to the accuracy of the data that AI operates on, right?
yeah,
And the model trained on. So over a period, if the data accuracy is, more closer to the actual information, then based on that, we'll get the results.
gotcha. See,
Got it.
simple way that I answer is take your third standard, your kids' fourth standard book or fifth standard book. Start asking this, repeatedly start asking the questions on a fourth standard book. One point ChatGPT will fail. You say, who is the father of Akbar? Who is the father of Hyder Ali? Everything. When
Right.
was Hyder Ali and Akbar fought on the fifth battle? Get me the year. It won't say, because that is
Okay.
not fed in, that data is not fed to it. Now,
Okay.
just giving a hypothetical example, but that's what it is, because it operates on the data.
Absolutely. Yeah. Got it. Thank you.
But your son will say, because your son has read the complete book. So, I mean, my son will say.
Okay. Interesting. Thank you.
So these are not some hi-fi examples I'm placing. Once you are in the AI space, you start digging into this deeper and deeper. You yourself will say much more better examples than anyone else. So, uh,
Yeah. Okay.
any other questions? Okay. Thank you all. Thanks. Nice. It was a nice conversation. I also learned multiple things from you guys. So thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Cassandra and team, for this valuable session. Thank you.
Thanks, Arvind.
Thanks. Thanks, Veronica.
Thank you, everyone.